Good morning students. Welcome to St. Joseph's Academy online video classes. I am Arunima Sen, your English teacher. Today we will be studying the chapter 4 of your English course book, The Miracle. This is the cover page of your new Mulberry course book 6. We will be studying the chapter 4 which is in page 59. Let's start with the chapter. First we should know what is the meaning of the word the miracle. Miracle is a lucky thing which has happened to you which you have never expected. For example, you might have won a lottery which you have never expected. The story is about Charlie, an 11-year-old boy. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is about an 11-year-old boy named Charlie Bucket who lives in a small house with his parents and 4 grandparents. Willy Wonka, a rather strange chocolatier, has hidden 5 golden tickets in chocolate bars. Those who find the tickets win a visit to the chocolate factory and get a lifelong supply of chocolate. 4 tickets have been found. Now let's read what happens when Charlie tries for the last ticket with a few coins that he has. Charlie Bucket, he is an 11-year-old boy and he lives in a small house with his parents and 4 grandparents. Willy Wonka, he was a chocolatier. What is the meaning of chocolatier? A person who makes or sells chocolates. He has hidden 5 golden tickets in chocolate bars. Those who find the tickets, they will win a visit to the chocolate factory and they will get a lifelong supply of chocolates. You know children love chocolates. Now 4 tickets have been found already. Now let's read what happened when Charlie is trying for the last ticket with a few coins that he has. Charlie entered the shop and laid the damp 50 pence on the counter. "One Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudgemallow Delight," he said, remembering how much he had loved the one he had on his birthday. Now Charlie went to the shop and he laid the damp 50 pence on the counter. Pence is a British coin, like we are having paisa, so pence is used by the British. Now just listen to the name of the chocolate. One Wonka's Whipple Scrumptious Fudgemallow Delight. Now he remembered that how he had loved this chocolate, this particular chocolate which he had on his birthday. The man behind the counter looked fat and well fed. He had big lips and fat cheeks and a very fat neck. The fat around his neck bulged out all around the top of his collar like a rubber ring. He turned and reached behind him for the chocolate bar and then he turned back again and handed it to Charlie. Now here is the description of the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper looked fat and very well fed. He had big lips, fat cheeks and a fat neck. Now see the fat around his neck, it bulged. Bulged means what? It stuck out in a round shape all around the top of his collar like a rubber ring, you know. Now he turned and reached behind him for the chocolate bar and then he handed it to Charlie. Charlie grabbed it, quickly tore off the wrapper and took an enormous bite. Like all children do, you also might have done that. You have got a chocolate and you quickly tore off the wrapper and took an enormous bite. Then he took another and another and oh, the joy of being able to cram large pieces of something sweet and solid into one's mouth. So he felt the joy. He took one another bite and another bite, and then he felt the joy of forcing some sweet and solid into his own mouth, which is very small, you know, a 11-year-old boy's mouth. Now the sheer blissful joy of being able to fill one's mouth with rich, solid food. So the sheer blissful joy means he was very happy and he was very joyous, for he was filling his own mouth with the rich, solid food. You look like you wanted that one, Sonny, the shopkeeper said pleasantly. So the shopkeeper also said pleasantly that, oh, yes, now I understand that, yes, you wanted that chocolate very badly, is it not? Charlie nodded, his mouth bulging with chocolate. The shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter. Take it easy, he said. It will give you a tummy ache if you swallow it like that without chewing. So Charlie nodded that yes, he is very happy, and still his mouth was full with chocolate. Now the shopkeeper put Charlie's change on the counter and he advised Charlie that take it easy, because if you are eating like that, if you are swallowing it without chewing, then it would be giving you a stomach ache. Charlie went on wolfing down the chocolate. Now what is wolfing down the chocolate? That means eating very speedily. Sometimes you do not that when you are very late for school and you are just eating in a speed your breakfast, that means you are wolfing down the food. So he was also eating very quickly the chocolate. He could not stop, and in less than half a minute the whole thing had disappeared down his throat. He was quite out of breath, but he felt marvelously, extraordinarily happy. So he was quite out of breath because he was eating very quickly, very fast, but he was very, very happy. He reached out a hand to take the change. Then he paused. He stopped for a minute. His eyes were just above the level of the counter. He was staring at the silver coins lying there. The coins were all 5-penny pieces. There were 9 of them altogether. Surely it wouldn't matter if he spent just one more. So when Charlie was taking the change, he saw that there was some left. Okay, so he thought that if he would spend some more on the chocolate, it would not matter so much. I think, he said quietly, I think I'll have just one more of those chocolate bars, the same kind as before, please. He told the shopkeeper that he wants one more of those chocolate bars, but the same kind as he has got before. Why not? The fat shopkeeper said, reaching behind him again and taking another Whipple's Scrumptious Fudgemallow Delight from the shelf. He laid it on the counter. The shopkeeper, he told that yes, why not? He will be taking. So he took another chocolate and he laid it on the counter. Charlie picked it up and tore off the wrapper. And suddenly, underneath the wrapper, there came a brilliant flash of gold. Charlie's heart stood still. Now, when Charlie picked it up and he was tearing off the wrapper, he suddenly saw underneath the wrapper that there was a bright sparkle of golden color. And Charlie's heart stood still. That means he was just so shocked that his heart was still at that moment. It's a golden ticket, screamed the shopkeeper, leaping about a foot in the air. You have got a golden ticket. You have found the last golden ticket. Hey, would you believe it? Come look at this, everybody. The kids found Wonka's last golden ticket. There it is. It's right here in his hands. The shopkeeper was so happy and so surprised that he screamed with joy that it's a golden ticket, and he leaped also about a foot in the air. And he told Charlie that yes, you have got a golden ticket. It's the last golden ticket of Wonka. and here he called everybody in the shop who were present in the shop to see the golden ticket which Charlie had in his hands. It seemed as though the shopkeeper would collapse in a fit. "In my shop too," he yelled. "He found it right here in my own little shop." The shopkeeper could not believe that his own little shop he could find the golden ticket of Wonka. "Somebody call the newspapers quick and let them know." So the shopkeeper wanted that the newspaper people will come and publish it in the newspaper, and so everyone will know about his own shop also, where the Wonka's golden ticket had been won by Charlie. "Watch out now, Sonny. Don't tear it as you unwrap it. That thing's precious." So he told Charlie to watch out, he just warned Charlie that don't tear it as you unwrap it, because that is a very precious thing. In a few seconds, there was a crowd of about 20 people clustering around Charlie, and many more were pushing their way in from the street. Everybody wanted to get a look at the golden ticket and the lucky finder. "Where is it?" somebody shouted. "Hold it up so all of us can see it." "There it is, there," someone else shouted. "He is holding it in his hands. See the gold shining." In a few seconds, there were a crowd of around 20 people who were all gathering around Charlie, and many more were coming inside the shop from the street. Everybody wanted to get a look at the golden ticket, and also Charlie, who is the lucky founder. So somebody shouted, "Where is it?" Somebody told that, "Yes, you hold it up in your hand so that we can see it." Then someone else shouted that, "There it is. He is holding it in his hands, and see, the gold is shining." "How did he manage to find it? I'd like to know," a large boy shouted angrily. 20 bars a day. I have been buying them for weeks and weeks." A large boy, he became very angry because he has been buying 20 bars each day, and he has been buying for weeks and weeks, but he did not get the golden ticket. So he was very angry. "Think of all the free stuff he will be getting too," another boy said enviously. Now, many boys are getting jealous of Charlie. So another boy, he told in a jealous way, enviously means jealous. He told in a jealous way that, "Now see, think of all the free chocolates he will be getting, a lifetime supply. He will need it, the skinny little shrimp." A girl said, laughing. A girl was making fun of Charlie. Charlie was a little boy. So here shrimp means a weak person, a small physically weak person. So the girl was making fun of Charlie that, "Oh yeah, he will need those chocolates because he is so weak." Charlie hadn't moved. He hadn't even unwrapped the golden ticket from around the chocolate bar. He was standing very still, holding it tightly with both hands while the crowd pushed and shouted all around him. He felt quite dizzy. There was a peculiar floating sensation coming over him. Charlie, he hadn't moved. He even did not unwrap the golden ticket from the chocolate bar. He was standing very still, and he was holding it very tightly with both the hands, and the crowd pushed and shouted all around him. He felt very confused here, confused and unsteady. He felt quite dizzy, and there was a strange feeling. There was a peculiar floating sensation, a strange feeling as if one were flying. As though he were floating up in the air like a balloon. His feet didn't seem to be touching the ground at all. He could hear his heart thumping away loudly somewhere in his throat. Now a peculiar floating sensation came over Charlie, and it felt that he was floating up in the air like a balloon, and his feet did not seem to be touching the ground also. And he could hear his heart thumping also and away loudly somewhere in his throat. Actually, he was feeling nervous as well as excited, and so His heart was thumping away loudly somewhere in his throat. At that point, he became aware of a hand resting lightly on his shoulder, and when he looked up, he saw a tall man standing over him. "Listen," the man whispered, "I will buy it from you. I will give you 50 pounds. How about it, eh? And I will give you a new bicycle as well, okay?" Now he became aware that a hand was there on his shoulder. Now when he looked up, he saw a tall man who was standing over him, and he was just giving an offer to Charlie that, you see, you give this ticket to me and I will give you 50 pounds. So what do you think about it? And I will give you a new bicycle also. Now a woman who was standing nearby, she shouted, "Are you crazy?" shouted a woman who was standing equally close. "Why, I will give him 200 pounds for that ticket. You want to sell that ticket for 200 pounds, young man?" Now the woman who was standing very close, she overheard the man, and she told Charlie that, "Why, I will give you 200 pounds for that ticket. So would you like to sell it to me for 200 pounds? "That's quite enough of that," the fat shopkeeper shouted, pushing his way through the crowd and taking Charlie firmly by the arm. "Leave the kid alone, will you? Make way there. Let him out." And to Charlie, as he led him to the door, he whispered, "Don't you let anybody have it. Take it straight home quickly before you lose it. Run all the way and don't stop till you get there. You understand?" Charlie nodded. Now the fat shopkeeper, he was very caring, he was very conscious and caring about Charlie. So he just was very angry that all the people were there and they were making an offer to Charlie that, "Yes, you give that ticket, I will give you this." So the fat shopkeeper shouted that, "It is enough. Just let him alone, let him be alone and make way for him." And now when he was leading Charlie to the door, he whispered to Charlie that, "You don't allow anybody to have the ticket. You just go home quickly before you lose it and run all the way, and you don't stop until you get to your home." Now Charlie nodded. Charlie told that, "Yes." "You know something?" the fat shopkeeper said, pausing a moment and smiling at Charlie. "I have a feeling you needed some luck. I am glad you got it. Good luck to you, Sonny." As I have told you, the shopkeeper is very caring, and so he told Charlie that he felt that Charlie needed some luck, and he was glad that Charlie got that luck. So the shopkeeper wished Charlie good luck. "Thank you," Charlie said, and off he went, running through the snow as fast as his legs could go. As he flew past Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, he turned and waved at it and sang out, "I will be seeing you, I will be seeing you soon." And 5 minutes later, he arrived at his own home. Charlie said thank you to the shopkeeper, and then he ran through the snow as fast as his legs could carry him. And as he flew past Mr. Willy Wonka's factory, he turned towards the factory and waved at it and sang out. He was very happy that he got the ticket, and he sang out, "I'll be seeing you soon." So 5 minutes later, he arrived at his own home. So we have come to the end of the chapter, but before closing the chapter, we would read something about the author. The author of this story is Roald Dahl from 1916 to 1990. He is one of the most well-known authors of fiction for children. He created fiction, means imaginary things, okay, imaginary stories. He was a well-known author of imaginary stories for children. He created several lovable characters such as Willy Wonka, then BFG, Big Friendly Giant. Apparently, the idea of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory came to him when he was in school. A chocolate company used to send chocolates for the students to eat and test. Dal used to dream of inventing a new variety of chocolate. So this story, the idea of this story came when he was in school. Because why? Because a chocolate factory, that is a chocolate company, used to send chocolates for the students to eat those chocolates and test. And Dal also used to dream that he would be one day inventing a new variety of chocolate. So students, hopefully you have understood the chapter. Thank you students.